Hi everyone. So welcome to the another video of Jenkins tutorial. So today in this video we'll see what is Jenkins master and slave configuration. Okay, so what is Jenkins master? So Jenkins master is the main Jenkins server that is a master. Okay, so whatever you have installed some Jenkins in your system that is called a master one. Also, okay, what is a Jenkins slave? Right, so a slave Java executable that run on the remote machine or any remote server. Right, so on the different operating system. Okay, so here you can see the definition for the Jenkins master that for scheduling the job, dispatching the bill to the slave for the actual execution and monitor the slave. Right. So these are the things that we more often do in the Jenkins server. Right. So we create a project and we build the project, we execute the project. Right. So when it's come to the Jenkins slave, it here the request from the actual Jenkins master, and it will run on the different operating system. Okay, so why do we need this one? So for example, if you create a number of slaves, you can run your you can run your build parallelly, right? So parallelly is in like a distributed environment. So you can share the workload to the different slave nodes, right? So that's where we have one more this concept in Jenkins where you can have master in one system, and you can run your slave into the other operating system, like connecting to a remote machine or remote server or something like that. Okay, so we'll see today this one. So in my case, I'm not doing any remote. I'm not taking any remote machine or remote server. I am again using my local system as a remote one. Okay, so here I have created one folder in my E drive. Okay, so I called as a Jenkins slave this folder name. So now what we have to do, we have to go to our Jenkins. So master Jenkins. So here you can go to this manage Jenkins. So under the manage Jenkins, you will find an option called manage nodes and clouds. Okay. So you have to go to this manage node option. Here you can see only one master node we have. A master server, Jenkins server we have. So here you can go to this new node. So okay, so here we can we can create a slave node. Okay, so for example, I will keep it as a slave one. Okay, this is my node name. I am selecting as a permanent node. Permanent agent. So if you want to run on some virtual box also, you can select this one. Okay. So for our case, so we are creating the node by the name of slave one as a permanent agent. Okay, so simply click on OK. So after this, so it will be asked the below details. Okay, this is a slave. Node name, right? So this is a slave node name that we have kept as a slave one. So description you can give like anything slave. So number of executor you want, you can increase this one, right? So when we see the parallel execution on the same build, the same project, right? So we came to this settings and we have increased to 1, 2, 3. So that's where we were able to run the 3 builds parallel, right? So for this case, I will go with the only one. So remote root directory, right? So this is my root directory where I'm trying to execute my slave node. Okay, so if you are using different operating system, like if you want to run some Linux machine, right? So through virtual box or any remote server you are taking, you have to give that particular path where you want to place that node. Okay, so this is the remote root directory. So in our case, my E drive is acting as a remote directory. Okay, so here I have created a folder called Jenkins slave. That is the path I am passing here. Okay, so label we have to give like this is like I will go as a slave label. Okay, so the label is must. You have to provide a label. Okay, so here you can see this is a label or tags that used to group the multiple agent into the one logical group. Okay, I will tell you when we use this label. So label is must. After this, you can leave this use as much as possible, and this is launch agent by connecting to the master. Okay, so when you go for a different operating system or different remote server, right? So that time you can use either SSH, right? So SSH will help you to so when you set the remote machine, you have to make sure the SSH connection is happening to the your remote machine by going to the IP address ping. Okay, so once the server is established, the connection is established, you can run your you can run your build in the nodes, the slave node. Okay, so we have to select this one and custom directory work path. This also I'm giving the same one. Okay, so rest of the thing you can remove, leave everything as it is. So when you run this in different operating system or different server, you can define the environment variables. For example, you are running on some Linux machine, right? So in the Linux machine, you have to tell where Java is located and where is your Maven is located and what are the environment that you want to you need to run your test, right? So for our case, we need a Java, we need a Maven, right? So you have to define everything in the environment variables. So in our case, so I'm locally creating this server I mean, I'm hosting my server as a local host. I mean, in local laptop itself, pointing to this folder, local folder. So we don't want to give anything here. Okay, so our everything is done, setting is done. So now when you click on the save, so the slave node is generated, created, right? So then you can see the status is offline, right? When you open this one, here you can see this is offline, which you can see the red color in box, right? So which means the slave, I mean, the agent is not connected. The slave agent is not connected. Still, it is offline. Okay. So here you can see this is connected, right? So the status is on. I mean, it's connected, but here it is not connected. It's offline. Here you can see this is offline, right? So how do we connect this one? I mean, how do we agent to be online? I mean, the connected status, right? So what you have to do, you have to download this jar file by going to the slave agent. So simply click on this file. So it will download the jar file. Okay, so this is a file that I have collected. I will copy this one. I will go to my folder. This is a folder name that we created, right? So I will simply paste it here. So after that, what we have to do, we have to run this command. Okay, so simply copy this command and go to the folder that you have pasted this agent jar. Okay, open the command prompt from here and execute this command. Once this is done, here you can see the server is connected, right? The agent discovery is successful and it is connected. So now you come back to this Jenkins. Now you can see this is offline, right? So when you refresh the screen, now you can see the status will be the connected status. Okay, so now you can see this is connected, that int box is gone, right? So here you can see when you go to this slave one, here you can see agent is connected, right? So now we are set the, I mean, we are done with our setting. I mean, setting in the sense like, so we have created one agent, okay, slave agent, and we are connected this, the status is connected. Okay, so here you can see that the things are fine. Okay, so now we are good to run our test cases, I mean, our build to the slave node. Okay, so how do we run? So go back to your project from the master Jenkins node, master server. So for example, I will take this one. Okay, so this is a project which I have already created. Go to the configuration. So when you come to the configuration, so here you can see the option called restrict where this project can run, right? So you have to select this option and you have to provide the label, right? The label what we have given in our slave node, right? So we have given the slave node name as well as the description as well as the label or tag, right? So that label we have to give here. So for example, what we have given as a slave label, right? So this is the one that we have given. Automatically it will come. Okay, so here you can see, okay, no cloud. Okay, so 1 second, slave one, I think. Okay, so we have to give the correct name that where what we have given here. I will go here. Okay, the label is slave hyphen label. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, still the error is not gone. Yeah, so now the error is gone. Here you can see label slave one match not found, right? So there was some space in between. So I have deleted that one. Now this is connected. Okay, so when you, I mean, we don't want to change anything here. So this one we can ignore. Poll ACM, poll mailbox that we have seen in the previous video. So I'm simply click on save and apply. Okay, so now we have connected this one, right? So our last build was number 3. So when I build this one, now you can see it will it will trigger the build number 4. Okay, so you can see it here. So when I open this one, here you can see the things, right? It started by the admin user. When you go to console, you can see this is started in the remote slave node. Okay, so here you can see building remotely on slave one, and this is the workspace, right? So this is a workspace acting as our slave node, right? So when you come here, you can see something is started building, right? Remote and workspace and all created now. Okay, so let's wait for the execution to be complete. So in the dashboard also you can see, so the slave one, it is not running on the master one. Okay, so it is running on the slave one machine. So the build number 4, external report the, project name that is running on the my slave machine, not in the master machine. Okay, so it will take some time, but definitely it will run. So this is how we run our build to the, slave node, right? So So whenever you run the, whenever you execute the build node, it automatically will run on the master Jenkins master. You can create some n number of slave like this. Then you can give the workload to the distributed to the all the across all the slaves, right? So this is how we will. Okay, so this is still running. I think some issue with this thing, but you can see. It will definitely run, but it takes some time for my case. So if you try with, if you try yourself, it will definitely work. You can see it here. Right, started by the admin. We have clicked on the build now button manually, and it's starting on the slave one. Right. So this is how we set the our Jenkins master slave configuration. Okay. So the slave could be anywhere, like any operating system, any remote machine you can run. Okay. So that's all about this video, all about like a Jenkins master and slave configuration. I don't know. So I have some problem, but my status is connected everything. But again, the still this parsing is not happening. Okay, let me do one thing. I will stop this one. I will generate some other project and I will show you. Okay, so I will go back to my dashboard. I will pick some other projects. Okay, so I will take some Postman projects. Okay, so this is very simple. It will execute only the collections, right? So I will go to the configuration. Okay. So our slave is done. Our slave setup is done, right? So I'm changing the project since this project is not working fine. I will go to the configure here. Okay, so in the configuration, what we have to do, we have to check this option, right? So run restrict on only this one. Okay, so I will uncheck this one and yeah, restrict where, yeah. So this is the one. So when you type as a label hyphen, okay, why this is not coming? Slave one label. Yeah, this is the one, right? So now this is connected. You can see one match node is found. When you click on simply save and apply, okay, now we will execute this postman test from local, this project to the slave node. Okay, so our last build was number 31. So it was executed on the our master node only. So when you go to the console, here you can see it was, it was running through this old mailbox trigger, but it was running in our master Jenkins only, server only. So when I click on the build now, so again, 32 build number will be created now. So when you open this one, you can see this one is started by admin. When you go to the console, so here you can see the building is remotely on slave number one, right? So here you can see the test is started, right? So all the collections which I have, it's executed, and there is some assertion that we are getting failure. Okay, so build is failure. Okay, so due to some failure we have, so we have successfully executed this project, this build into the our node machine, slave node, right? So here you can go to the console and you can check all the details. Okay, so this is how we will configure the slave node, master Jenkins master and slave configuration in the system. You can again do in the same system. So here what I have done, I have created one folder in my E drive, which will act as my remote machine. Okay, so you can like in real time you can create one virtual box and you can put any operating system like a Windows or any Linux, anything you can put, and you can set up your slave node into the particular remote machine operating system. Okay, so that's all about this video. If you guys have any comment or question, please feel free to ask in the comment section. Thank you guys.